Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be having a look at which truck is better. My new truck, the MAN TGX 480, or my old truck, the DAF XF 530. We're going to be looking at three things in particular: the outside, what it looks like; the inside, what it's like inside; and also what it's like to drive. Now, we've come up with a scoring system based on in-depth scientific analysis, and yeah, I'm just going to be awarding points as I see fit, basically. First thing I'm going to talk about is these side lockers. They're just so much bigger. There's so much more space in them to store stuff. And yeah, that's a little better. Plus, it goes upwards. So when it's raining, you've got somewhere to stand and not get so wet. On the DAF, they're just smaller. You can't access both of them from inside the cab like you can with the MAN as well. So yeah, it's going to have to be 2 points for the MAN and only 1 point for the DAF. Next thing I want to talk about is the AdBlue tank. It's on the wrong side. Yeah, why is it not on the same side as the fuel tank like it is on the DAF? That means when I go to the service station to fill up with fuel and AdBlue, I've either got to wiggle around after doing the fuel to get to an AdBlue pump, or sit in the middle, so I'm taking up 2 pumps so I can fuel up with AdBlue. It's, yeah, does seem a little bit silly, but at least I haven't got to move the air deflector kit like you have on the DAF. But yeah, gonna have to give 2 points to the DAF and only 1 point to the MAN. Next is how the truck actually looks. Now, I can appreciate a good looking truck, but to me, they are boxes on wheels for moving trailers. But there are some things that I do prefer about my DAF compared to the MAN. First thing is, it hasn't got a sun visor. That's just a little bit weird. I also don't like the fact that it's not got any lights at the top, unlike the DAF. And also, it is missing some mirror guards as well, which to me make the truck look a little bit better. I am getting some mirror guards because, yeah, the lanes that we go down, they are inevitably going to get knocked off. So, because of those things, I think the DAF is that little bit better looking. And because of my made-up scoring system, I'm going to give 2 points to the DAF and no points to the MAN. So, after the first round, it's 5 points for the DAF and only 3 points for the MAN. So, let's see if it does any better on the interior. So, onto the interior. Now, when I did my reveal video, I mentioned the fact that it's got the 3 lockers across the top and the top bunk is still here as well for storage. But one thing that I do like about this one is the drawers. For me, the drawers are just better than that tiny little cubby that you get in the DAF XF. Yeah, I don't like having stuff out as well. So being able to tuck it away in a drawer so it's not seen is much better for me. I've got one for truck stuff in terms of keys for machines and starter keys and whatever it is. Sometimes my gloves go in there. And I've got one for all my GoPro attachments and mounts and things like that, depending on what machine it is I'm using. So yeah, definitely a very handy thing to have those drawers. Everything's all tucked away and I haven't got to worry about it. So because of that, I'm going to be giving 2 points to the MAN and only 1 point to the DAF because it's very close. Next thing I want to talk about is the seat. In the MAN, it's just so much more comfortable because, yeah, I've got 2 armrests. I only had 1 in the DAF, and I do tend to lean over to one side when I've only got 1 armrest. It's got the side supports as well, which helps me to sit up straight and, yeah, be a bit more comfortable. And also, one key thing is the seat is heated. And, yeah, not everybody's thing. Some people don't like it, but to me, I don't like being cold. So having a heated seat, especially as it's coming into the winter, is something that's important. But because I think the seat is so much better here in the MAN, I'm going to be giving 2 points to the MAN and 0 points to the DAF. Now I can already see in the comments people going, oh, but my DAF has this and my MAN doesn't have that, etc, etc. But as I said, we're reviewing my truck versus my old truck. These ones specifically. Which one do I prefer? Okay, so now we move on to the bed. Now, it's not something I need to worry about overly because I don't sleep out in the truck anymore, but there are times when I am able to have a little sleep in the middle of the day, or if I am doing a night shift, catch up on some sleep that I've missed out on because, yeah, I don't like doing night shifts because I don't sleep during the day. Yeah, I've done a few little naps on there and it's okay. It's not the best. It's nowhere near as comfortable as the DAF mattress though. And for that reason, I'm going to have to give the DAF 2 points and only 1 point for the MAN. So if we take a look at the scoreboard now, that was actually quite a good round for the MAN. It's brought it back to level peggings, so they're now both on 8 points. So as I've already mentioned, my old truck had 530 horsepower. This one has only got 480, and that extra 50 horsepower that my old truck has got definitely makes a big difference. Some of the machines that we've got here are 20 plus tons, and then we add another machine on top of that as well, taking us to our max weight, and it definitely notices. All of the eco mode system that's built into this MAN is actually hindering it. The DAF was getting about 8 miles per gallon, whereas this seems to be getting about 7. And I think it's because the fact that it's not got as much horsepower, but B, it just constantly wants to try and put itself into 12th gear when actually it needs to go down to 11th or 10th. Yes, it does have the kick down, but then it's just revving and not really going anywhere because the horsepower is not there. So I'm going to have to give 2 points to the DAF and only 1 point to the MAN. The next thing I want to talk about is the sensors and the cameras. Now, the camera has actually been quite handy, something that's helped around some of the corners that I've gone round, been able to see the trailer a bit further back, etc. Yeah, I can definitely see a benefit for that. And I'm sure the actual benefit of seeing cyclists and things like that in places where they shouldn't be, then yeah, there's going to be a big benefit from that point of view. The people detecting sensor, yeah, that's just really frustrating because it just beeps. And of course, they could be a few feet away on a curb behind a railing, and of course it's picked them up. It's going to beep and tell me that they're there. Yes, fantastic safety feature in terms of keeping people safe, but yeah, it's just a little bit intrusive for me. And of course, safety, I can't turn it off. On the DAF, didn't have any of those things, but had I kept that truck, of course, it's having to have all of them put into it because of all the new regulations for where we're going into London, the Heathrow work, etc. that we do. So that camera system was going to be put onto the DAF. It's going to cost £1,700 to do it, but it was going to be put on there. So from that point of view then, I'm going to have to award 1 point each because, yeah, they're both going to do exactly the same thing. Now, the final thing I want to talk about in terms of driving the truck. Now, you will notice this in the vlogs, and if you go back and watch some of the old DAF vlogs and some of the POV drives that I've done, this one is so much more quieter. There's less rattles. Of course, it's a newer truck. Things fit properly. Yeah, from that point of view, it's just a much quieter, nicer place to drive. You guys can probably hear me a lot better now as well because there's less rattles. It's quieter in here. Of course, that's going to make a difference for the videos. So let me know whether that is actually the case, because it certainly seems like it when I'm driving. And because of that, I'm going to have to give 2 points to the MAN and 0 points to the DAF. So there we go. Based on my completely made up scoring system that I was kind of going with as I was recording this video, the MAN scores a 1 extra point compared to the DAF. Now, I'm sure there are some other things that I prefer about the DAF compared to the MAN and vice versa. And over the next few weeks, as those come up, I will be talking about those in the videos. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little video. Let me know in the comments which truck you prefer, and I'll catch you in the next one.